Well, it's not a restaurant, but they still serve nearly 2,000 meals a day year-round. Our city is so lucky to have a very strong Nashville rescue mission here in town. Cliff Treadway has been on the staff there for a number of years, and we've seen it evolve into such a crucial safety net for so many of the needy folks in our city. Thanks so much for being with us
today.
Thanks
for having me.
You've got an Easter campaign going on right now that we want to share with people because we believe in this mission.
You know, the Easter story, it's perception versus reality at the rescue mission. I mean, you think of the dark, dangerous, depressed, those words come to mind when you arrive there, but after you leave, it's hope and optimism and reconciliation and just big words. And that Easter story of resurrection, this is the day, you know, we get to talk about it, but it happens every single day at the rescue mission.
And you're lucky enough to not only to have experienced it in your own life, but to get to be a part of it for the men and women and children who come through there each day.
I tell you, and I'm the guy that's responsible for all the mail and the mailboxes, and some, you know, people get mad sometimes, but you know, if you had the story to tell that I do, you know, you would want to hand deliver those messages to each mailbox.
Definitely. All right, so if we want to help out during this Easter season, $2.26 will buy a meal for a homeless person.
Absolutely, it's the best investment in the world. I mean, you give a person a meal because they're hungry, and you know, that $2.26 would be the first step into changing somebody's life. You don't get that kind of return in the stock market.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. Tell me about some of the programs that are going on at the mission, because it's so much more than meals and lodging. You're really helping to facilitate change.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest numbers that we deal with are food and shelter. I mean, we served over 600,000 meals last year, but that's not why we're here. I mean, that's a goodwill gesture on our part to get a person in off the street so we can talk to them and get to know them. So they come in hungry, and it's kind of bait and switch. You know, they get they get their meal, and they run into God. You know, we often say that all we really provide at the rescue mission is a platform for a person needing help and God to get together and take care of business.
And it just starts with a meal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have a family life center that's really been so helpful to women and children. We've got some video of that. Tell us about the programs.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, every time the rescue mission has seen the need, it's moved. I mean, when we moved in the old Sears building, it's the same situation here. Women and children are up 32% in the last 24 months. And so we kicked off this capital campaign just as the economy, you know, bottomed out. And so the facility's done. We're still figuring out how to pay for it.
Sure.
But you know, after it's all said and done, we'll go from 80 beds to nearly 300 beds to be able to take care of women and children.
Wow. And I guess a lot of folks probably don't know that you don't get any taxpayer money to help fund the mission.
Right. You know, government plans come and government plans go. And you know, 56 years. In fact, March 16th, we turned 56 years old. And our founders way back when, you know, said we would never take a dime from the government. And the fact that we haven't for 56 years, there's not many organizations that can say they stay true to their mission statement.
Definitely, definitely. Well, it's a great cause all year long. Now is a terrific time to give. Cliff, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. If you'd like to find out more, we are partnering with the Nashville Rescue Mission. We want to remind you that the big Easter dinner is just a couple of days away. It costs just $2.26 for a hot meal for someone in need, and you can donate online at our website, newschannel5.com.
Summertime brings with it disastrous situations for many homeless people that are on the streets.
While many of us look forward to summer, the heat can be a silent killer on the streets of Nashville. Good evening. Once the temperatures hit 90 and above, the Nashville Rescue Mission takes to the streets, handing out bottles of water to the homeless and to other people who might need it. Cliff Treadway, who works at the mission, explains the hot patrol in his own words.
We give out, on average, about 1,500 bottles of water a week. The heat kills more people on any given day than winter months do, and because of that, we actually leave the mission, go outside of our walls, and go out and distribute water for hot patrol and things like that. Once it hits about 90 degrees, we kind of, you know, hop into a new position here as far as relaxing rules and going outside and actively, not only distributing water, but looking out for people that might be experiencing heat-related issues and helping them to get to a hospital. You know, when the winter months are here, that's when we think of homelessness. And people don't think about it, water the same way they do blankets and coats that we ask for during the wintertime. Bottled water is probably even more important than those coats and those blankets in a lot of ways. And people just don't, they don't realize that heat brings with it probably even more dangerous consequences than the cold weather does. When a homeless person loses their life on the streets and has no identification and things like that, it's silent. They go into a cemetery with a John Doe type grave, and there's a handful of those every single summer that due to hot weather that do lose their life. We're trying to help people come in to our life recovery programs, graduate, and transition back into being productive members of society. And so from that standpoint, I mean, a bottle of water could be the first step to a person getting their life changed. The gratitude is just, at the end of the day, it makes it worth coming back the next day.
Now, the folks at the National Rescue Mission tell News 2 that they are in desperate need of more water donations. They are down to only a few pallets of water, and summer has just started.
I'm Kristen Presaw in the very busy kitchen of the National Rescue Mission. Now, this place serves up 1,800 hot, nutritious meals every day. Cliff Treadway is joining us now. He is from the mission. And Cliff, you all serve so many people every day. I'm just amazed, though, in 55 years you've been doing this, you've never taken taxpayers' money.
Nope. Our founders a long time ago decided no government money was going to come to support anything. It's neighbors helping neighbors.
What's your vision for the men and women and children after they get the hot meal?
It's always been the same thing since day one. You know, it's to introduce people into a relationship with Jesus Christ, and from that point, you know, teach them to be able to help themselves.
How has feeding the homeless changed in the last 55 years?
More women and children. I mean, it's unacceptable in America that a mom and child would be on the streets, and we're trying to do something about that.
News Channel 5 is partnering with the Nashville Rescue Mission, and we want to be able to provide 40,000 hot meals this Thanksgiving season. So if you can help, no gift is too small. Just go to NashvilleRescueMission.org.